Welcome into First Alert Weather Extra, our all-weather streaming show at WBRC Fox 6 News. I'm meteorologist Lauren Linehan. I don't know about you, but I've been hearing some storms rolling through Birmingham tonight. It is certainly going to be a stormy evening for a lot of us, at least for the next couple of hours. Likely going to be seeing a lull for the possibility of some more storms early tomorrow morning. Let's go ahead and get a look now before you head out for your Friday evening at First Alert AccuTrack tonight. So in case you missed it, we do have a First Alert thunderstorm watch in effect. This is going to be in effect until midnight for tonight. And as we look at the radar, you can see not only do we have a severe thunderstorm watch in place, but we also have a few severe thunderstorm warnings as well. And I don't know if you guys can hear me in the back, but I think we hear Tania's mic on. So we want to make sure that is turned off while she's not on air. But looking at that severe thunderstorm warning that we're seeing right now, we've got one that is in far east Alabama, but it looks like that storm has been weakening, and I wouldn't be surprised if that begins to expire soon. And then we also have a larger severe thunderstorm warning that's extending from Jefferson County all the way over into Pickens County. And this is accounting for these storms that are moving in from Pickens, Tuscaloosa over towards Jefferson, Bibb County, even parts of Shelby County. These are going to have the possibility of some damaging wind gusts on them. So we'll zoom in here to get a better idea of where we're seeing some of these more intense thunderstorms. And hey, it actually looks like that severe thunderstorm warning expired. That's great news. So what has happened as these storms have pushed to the southeast? Do you see that little snake-like line feature on radar? That's called an outflow boundary. So when storms become outflow dominant, that means they're losing a lot of their steam. They're being dominated by downdrafts. That's that air that's sinking out of the storm. And as it moves out, if you get more air moving out of the storm versus into it, it's going to lose its steam. And that's what we're seeing here. But still, some very heavy rain and intense lightning moving towards Lakeview, over towards Alabaster, Chelsea, Hoover. A first alert for more storms headed your way. And then we also have in Pickens County from Carrollton over towards Aliceville, a more intense thunderstorm. Notice, though, where we do have a new severe thunderstorm warning. This is in Chilton County over into Coosa County. You can see a thunderstorm moving into Jemison, sliding down I-65. Likely has the potential for some torrential downpours, cloud to ground lightning, and possibly even some small hail. So I would say areas like Gold Branch, Quincy, Dollar, Hillwood, you're going to be next in line. It looks like this storm is crossing I-65 and pushing towards, let's see what road that is. Highway 145. So that's where we're seeing some of the most intense activity with this storm right now as it pushes to the south and east. So we'll keep a close eye on that here. And then as we look in East Alabama, we mentioned that earlier severe thunderstorm that was there. That has now expired. But even if you don't have a severe thunderstorm warning, we've got a lot of intense heavy rainfall. So there's a lot of moisture in the atmosphere. You probably noticed it was really muggy today. How does the atmosphere get rid of all of that moisture? It creates these storms, and it just dumps it all out in the form of rain. So that's certainly what we're going to be watching. As we look at the next 60 minutes here, this activity will continue to the south and east. I will say I'm encouraged by the fact that as these storms seem to be moving south and eastward, they are beginning to weaken in our area. They are moving into some very hot and muggy areas south. So if you got to travel south this evening, maybe headed towards the Gulf Coast, I would be mindful of that. But we're going to be tracking the storms here and, of course, all across the U.S. dealing with severe weather and heat. Let's take a look at what is coming up on First Alert Weather Extra for your Friday evening. A tornado caused some major damage in North Carolina this week. Even though it's been hot and muggy here, we are not the only ones dealing with a record summer heat. All the way over in Greece, having some major issues with record-breaking temperatures. And how could the summer heat be affecting bees? We'll let you know. And hey, take a look at Mickey's Weather Kit. We'll be right back.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome into Good Day, Alabama.
A new morning comes with preparing right, because while you slept, news broke.
We have new information from that breaking news that happened this morning.
While you head out, the storm we gave you the first alert for is on its way in. And as the key turns the ignition, your shorter route to work is being found.
Avoid 459 southbound completely because of a crash.
A new morning means everything you need for a good day is on Good Day Alabama, always on your side.
The first alert traffic you need to get you there safe and on time. Tomorrow morning, everything you need for a good day is on Good Day Alabama.
You're late, out the door, and on the go. Don't worry.
Good Day Alabama continues all morning long.
And wherever you watch, this is what you need to know right now.
More reporters on the streets with more hours of news when you need it. Everything you need for a good day is on Good Day Alabama. Knowing first is everything. First Alert Weather.
Welcome back to First Alert Weather Extra. Meteorologist Lauren Linehan here. If you stepped outside today, you probably noticed it was hot. It was definitely hot last night. Well, we're not the only ones. Right now, about 100 million people are under heat advisories nationwide, and more than 3,000 record high temperatures have already been broken in the past month. And when it comes to relief from extreme heat, right now, unfortunately, there's no end in sight. Unless you're here in Alabama, we got some storms coming through to cool us off. But a new round of severe storms pose a threat to 60 million people across the northeast and southeast parts of the country. And people in a Georgia gym yesterday were given quite a shock that was caught on camera. Cole Higgins has the latest.
Extreme temperatures set to shatter dozens of record highs by Saturday. Heat is the leading weather-related killer in the United States and is proving deadly in Phoenix, where nearly 20 people have died. Now, hospitals are seeing a spike in people suffering from heat-related illnesses.
This is a significant volume of patients coming in with these particular issues, affecting, all portions of their body, complicating other medical problems, and just more and more people seeking medical care, to the point that we are seeing volumes approaching what we did during the last wave of the pandemic.
Tens of millions are enduring sizzling temperatures in more than a dozen states Friday, from Florida to California, and the high heat is now expanding northward into Idaho and Oregon. Meanwhile, in Georgia,
The wall just collapsed at the gym.
walls crumble at a gym as strong storms strike, collapsing feet away from people, cutting workouts short.
Fortunately, when the wall collapsed, everything went to the outside of the building, so there was no damage inside the building or no debris went to the inside of the building.
There were more than 300 reports from severe storms Thursday, which knocked out power to hundreds of thousands across several states. I'm Cole Higgins reporting.
And we mentioned the damage across the southeast. One spot in particular, North Carolina, had to deal with a tornado. One couple sustained severe damage to their home. We check in now for a report.
I was just entering the house and said, "Mark, do you know there's a tornado watch, a tornado warning?" And he said, "Joyce, I don't like the sound of that noise."
This is your kitchen. That's the window. And Mark, you said you felt the wind come in and blow this glass out.
Yes, yeah, just like that. I mean, it was so fast.
What did it feel like when the tornado hit the house?
I don't scare very easily. Incredibly scary when it hit the house. People say that a tornado coming in sounds like a train. I'd say probably closer to 1,000 trains or maybe 100 jet planes all coming at the house.
And you ran in here.
I came in here, turned, and the door slammed on my arm, and somehow I ended up hitting the tub with my head. And so when Mark came to rescue me, I think I was crawling out of the bathroom. And I really don't know what happened at that point. See, this wasn't damaged at all.
This is a powder room. This would have been the most ideal
Yes,
safe space.
Absolutely. Only a little debris.
This is the master bedroom. This is where you all sleep.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the ceiling is gone.
Try this room.
What is this?
No ceiling. That's the master bath.
This is the master bath. And it's now outside.
Everything that had been above us, the roof and the ceiling, had fallen in here. So
blocking the doorway.
Yeah.
We had to navigate through here just for Mark to get his medication, and embarrassingly for me to get my cosmetics.
You were able to save some makeup?
I was able to save some makeup.
So her cosmetics are to her like my medication to me.
We sort of crawled together, not knowing what else was going to happen, and stayed right there on the floor for a few minutes until things calmed down. And 5 minutes later, we looked up and the sun was out.
Well, thankfully, no tornadoes here in the southeast, but actually we have some severe weather, but no active tornadoes right now across the southeast. But I do want to talk more about this hot conditions that we are seeing in some places, like in Mississippi. And this is especially true for farmers. The extremely hot conditions have made it difficult for farmers to keep their plants and their animals alive.
Mississippi farmers and ranchers battling extreme summer heat to keep their animals and crops alive.
We're watering like every other day just to keep the plants from wilting.
Van Killen has an irrigation system at his Madison County farm to keep the plants producing. Killen says the underground system sends water directly to the roots. He says some plants like squash and eggplants can tolerate the heat better than others.
The nighttime temperature on tomatoes needs to be in the 70s, which we're not getting right now. So that will hurt our yields, later on. But there's really nothing we can do about that.
Killen says the heat also putting stress on 1,000 free-range chickens at his farm. The birds are laying fewer eggs, reducing weekly production. Killen says the heat is having the biggest impact on farm workers.
It is that first heat snap we had.
That's when Killen says one worker got sick. He may have suffered heat exhaustion while he was in one of the fields harvesting crops.
He just felt dizzy and threw up a few times, and we actually put him in one of our air-conditioned rooms that we hold tomatoes in and let him cool off, drank plenty of water, and we ended up taking him home.
Doug Rogers' South Mississippi cattle operation has more than 100,000 head of cattle.
The cattle are the lifeblood of our cattle operation, so we try to take care of the cattle better than anything else. We don't want to put the cattle at risk at all.
Rogers says it's critical to make sure the cows get plenty of fresh water and shade. According to Rogers, because the animals get so fat, their lungs can't work fast enough to keep them cool in extreme hot weather.
Say we had to doctor some cattle or move cattle from one field to another in order to get them some better grazing pastures. We stopped that by 10 o'clock because it's just so hot on the cattle.
And this summer is starting out as the hottest in recorded world history. And NASA says next year could be worse. The weather isn't just making people sweat, it's costing billions of dollars, as Amy Kiley reports.
The climate crisis is upon us.
A new report shows last month was the hottest June on record globally, and ocean surface temperatures hit new highs for the third straight month. July is racking up new records too. Heat advisories and warnings continue in much of the U.S. today. Scientists say Europe is under a heat dome, and now NASA is predicting next year will be even hotter.
I think the public is growing in awareness. I think that's really important.
A recent study shows rising temperatures are causing about $1 billion in U.S. healthcare expenses each summer, not to mention the cost of energy, wildfires, and lost crops.
You'll get a big old white spot. It just like burns a hole in the tomato. Tomatoes and apples are really the worst.
If we had not mulched all these trees and individually watered them 3 times while it was dry, a large percent of them would not have made it.
Scientists say even small steps can help, like using reusable water bottles or walking instead of driving.
If we work fast and work hard over the next 7 or 8 years, we will definitely be able to keep climate from becoming the dominant thing that really wrecks our environment and our economy.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
Well, let's go across the world and see how the heat is affecting other places, like in Greece. The heat has gotten so bad in Athens, Greece, that the city is closing the Acropolis and other popular tourist attractions during midday hours. Workers at the monument are staging a partial strike through the weekend. They say conditions are unbearable. 20 visitors have fainted due to the heat. Athens is still bearing the brunt of the heat wave, with temperatures expected to hit the triple digits over the weekend. And at least 7 areas of the country have been ordered to evacuate due to the wildfires. Lauren.
Thanks, Tania. Well, residents in the Attica region just north of Athens are evacuating their homes and farms as a major fire has rekindled today. Firefighters are dropping water from planes and helicopters to try to douse the flames, and they are getting help from the French and Israeli fire crews. Wildfires are also burning in Laconia in southern Greece and on the Isle of Rhodes. Well, coming up on First Alert Weather Extra, we'll take another check on radar. We've got 2 more severe thunderstorm warnings to tell you about, and we'll be right back.
We heard the first alert. Mom says we have to go. She says I don't have time to grab any more toys.
Need to be into a tornado-safe place. Get there right now as you have.
We have to get to our safe place because sometimes when you hear the siren, it's too late. That's why she says knowing first is everything.
We know weather can be grab the umbrella or jogging shoes, but it's so much more. It's a science, an art, led by knowledge and experience.
And no one has more of that than a WBRC First Alert weather team.
Warning you first with more hours committed to you. And the first forecast built to see weeks, days, and even minutes ahead, right down to where you live. From the team you trust on your favorite screen.
Doing the weather better. The WBRC First Alert weather team, always on your side.
The first alert is more than a warning. It's a promise. A promise to get you out of harm's way with plenty of time to spare. 4 walls and a roof can be replaced. Lives can't. That's why knowing first is everything. First Alert Weather.
Welcome back to First Alert Weather Extra. Meteorologist Lauren Linehan here. We still have a severe thunderstorm watch in effect until midnight, but check it out. If you're in northwest Alabama, the counties that were under the watch are now being cleared. Areas like Fayette County, Lamar, Winston, Marion, Coleman, Walker County, you are now in the clear for severe weather for tonight. Now, there could be some strong storms in the morning, but I really think that risk is shifting south. Now, as we look at First Alert AccuTrack, we're still tracking plenty of storms around. We've got 2 severe thunderstorm warnings in particular that we want to zoom in on here. One is in Shelby County, or was there? Where'd it go? Maybe it expired. That's good. Normally, if it's not showing up, that means it expired. I don't want to totally assume that, but just know that this storm has had a severe thunderstorm warning as it's been moving. See that little hole right there? That is the radar site. So we're going to hope lightning does not strike that. That happens sometimes, so hoping it'll get lucky. We are seeing some intense lightning, though, north of 6 Mile and to the west of Lucille and West Blockton, moving towards Eolan and Choctaw Hills and Centerville. First alert, these storms are coming your way, but even if you don't have severe thunderstorm warning, lots of cloud to ground lightning, and look at how red that is right there. That is indicating some very heavy rainfall on this storm as it pushes south. And of course, south of Alabaster, that's where we've got that very heavy rain from Ellettsville to Country Hills down towards Montevallo. But we also had a severe thunderstorm warning. Okay, so that one in Shelby, or that one up in Shelby County, did expire. This one, though, in Chilton County, and that same storm moving over into Coosa County now, this severe thunderstorm warning is still in effect. I would tell you, though, if I'm looking at the warning polygon, the worst part of the storm now is outside of the polygon and now in Coosa County. Look at how intense this storm is around Lyle, down towards Kelly Crossroads. roads, Rockford, this storm is pushing to the south and east towards Highway 231. If you live around Rockford, I would get indoors right now. There's the possibility of hail with this storm, torrential downpours, and some very intense lightning that is going to be very dangerous if you're caught outside in this. So if you're along I-65, there is still some very heavy rain, possibly some small hail to the east of Jemison, south of Calera, but this is all pushing south and eastward. So I would just definitely go indoors. When thunder roars, go indoors. That's the most intense storm we're looking at. We also have another intense storm south of Dadeville, and this is showing some intense cloud to ground lightning, very heavy rainfall, the possibility of small hail. Storms have weakened across northeast Alabama, but we've still got some rain that would make for some hazardous travel tonight along I-20 if you're headed towards Atlanta, up towards Center, some heavy rain and still some lightning associated with this. Just in this view, you can see over 100 lightning strikes here. So we don't want to take these storms. We don't want to let our guard down with these storms. Remember, I said even if you don't have a severe thunderstorm warning in place, the rain is not going to be great to drive in, really going to reduce visibility. But you can see areas towards Coleman. If you're at Rock the South tonight, if you're in Coleman County at Rock the South, conditions are improving. So I know we saw some delays in performances. Hopefully those are back up and running. Over the next 60 minutes, any storms we're watching are going to continue to the south and east. I wouldn't be surprised to see more areas cleared from that severe thunderstorm watch. So hopefully we can see it expire well before midnight. We'll certainly keep you updated on that though, but that's just a little radar check for us. In the meantime, we're not just talking about storms, we've also been talking about the heat. So record-breaking temperatures are not just threatening human populations, but bee populations, specifically in the southwest U.S. Ashley Paradez has more on how beekeepers are protecting them in Arizona.
If you look really close, you can see her tongue. Just like any living creature, bees can only tolerate so much heat, especially in Arizona, and record-breaking conditions.
This is sugar water. It's a food source, supplement food source, and then this is regular water.
Studies have indicated extreme heat is leading to a decline in bees. That's why beekeeper Connie Moore is doing all she can to protect them.
All of mine have screen bottom boards. Allows for lots of airflow. They'll use a gallon of water a day sometimes, if not more. Yeah, just trying to cool, and not consuming it, but cooling off the hive and all that stuff.
She is the owner of Honey Hive Farms in Peoria, where right now she is taking some of her bigger colonies and making them smaller, placing them in shaded areas.
We pulled bees off and basically made what we call nukes, a nucleus baby colony. Just to kind of help dissipate that heat, less bodies in that house.
Unfortunately, even with precautions, the heat impacted a colony at her new farm, meaning they lost nearly 30,000 bees. She says even losing one is devastating.
If they die off, we are in big trouble. That impacts our whole food system. Not just that, but they are beneficial because obviously they're the only ones that make honey. Honey is used not just for consumption, but it's also used for sometimes wound care.
But there are things you can do to help.
The best way to keep bees cool is to leave out a bucket of water for them and put it in the same location. That way they know where to go. It's also helpful if you use a floating device, place it inside the water. That way if they fall in, they're able to climb back out.
Connie is passionate about what she does, holding courses on beekeeping and educating the younger generation.
Now, to create honey, it takes a whole lot of effort.
Holding presentations to show people why bees are important and how good their honey tastes.
That is good.
Ashley Paredes, ABC 15, Arizona.
Well, you know, it's Friday, so we got to check in with Mickey Ferguson to see who was in the studio this morning for Mickey's Weather Kit.
All right, I'm here with Chase Wilson, and he brought me this sucker that you made. What's this one called?
The Chase Blast.
Oh, that's good. That's a good sucker right there. He makes this. He's his own businessman. I'm going to put that down. I'm going to have to suck on that. I understand you have some jokes.
Mm-hmm.
What are some jokes?
Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. Summer wasn't too bad either.
That's nice. That's nice. You got another one?
Why did the football team go to the bank?
Get their quarterback? Got you on that one, huh? Yeah, was that the answer?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, all righty. Now, do you sell these suckers over here? How does someone Buy one of your suckers. What do they do?
They have to call.
Mm-hmm.
The number is 256-375-5083.
Get your pen ready. We're going to give that number here and again coming up. You want to do some shout outs real quick? Who you want to say hi to?
Hi family, hi dad.
What about your barber?
Hi Barbara. Hi Joseph. Hi Coach T and hi Coach.
Yeah, you got a lot of coaches because he takes boxing and also football and swimming, all kinds of stuff. Man, you got it going on. And you're 10 years old? You sure not like 21? Okay. All right, come over here. Now, what's going on here in North Alabama, Chase? What's that blue?
Flash flood warning.
A flash flood warning for up in North Alabama. It's just north of our area, but it's a storm system. It could be headed our way. 3 cities in the temperature. What's the city here?
Birmingham, and the temperature in Birmingham is 82.
What about way up there?
In Jasper is 81.
Uh-huh.
And in
How about way over here in East Alabama? What's this city right there?
Talladega.
Mm-hmm.
And in Talladega is 80 degrees.
All right, now we got 2 things going on here today, Chase. Actually, let's turn this way and look over here. 2 things going on. What's the first thing we need to be concerned about?
It's real hot.
It's real hot, y'all. It's getting up into the mid-90s today. Feels like temperature's well above that. What's the second thing we need to be concerned about?
It's going to be storming. It's going to be storming
from 2 p.m.
From 2 p.m., 4 p.m., and maybe 8 p.m.
8 p.m. So first we got to deal with the heat and then maybe some storms. Sound pretty good? Okay, what's that number again? Telephone number, business.
256-375-5083.
That's where you get Chase's Candies. Is that what it's called?
Chase's Candy Shop.
Chase's Candy Shop. All right, kids, if you want to do the weather with me, tell your and even promote your business. Go to WBRC.com. Click on the Good Day link. It's a drop-down menu in the upper left-hand corner. Look for Good Day, and then you look for Mickey's Weather, kids. Takes a little while to get there. But every kid who's picked gets an AmFirst Visa gift card for $25. All right, let me buy some more ingredients to make candy, huh? All righty. I think you did a wonderful job, Chase Wilson.
Chase was great, and I was writing down that number because if any of my coworkers are watching, none of you left me one of Chase's lollipops. A little upset about that. Chase, I'll be reaching out. So let's look at that super 7-day forecast as we head into the weekend. For tomorrow, we're still tracking some storms right now. There's likely going to be a lull before more storms come in early tomorrow morning. I think that best chance of storms tomorrow is going to be south of I-20, and the best chance of a strong storm going to be across the southern half of Alabama. So a lot of us will end up dry. Looking good for Rock the South on Saturday and Sunday. And then this is all because the front is coming through, right? So the humidity is finally going to be going down. This was one of the warmest mornings on record for this date. We didn't even get below 80 degrees in a lot of spots. So we're really hoping to see a little dent in that humidity, and we should finally see that on Sunday. Still going to be hot with highs in the low 90s, but check it out. Sunday and Monday morning, we may actually get down into the 60s. Should be pretty comfortable. And then going into next week, looking like a hot and dry pattern, quiet. I know we're all looking forward to that here on the First Alert Weather Team, and you too. Hope you can enjoy this quiet, not quite so muggy weather. But you can join us back here tonight on WBRC Fox 6 News. We're also going to be doing some streaming shows due to the U.S. Women's World Cup and the World Cup. I'm meteorologist Lauren Linehan. Join us back here on Weather Extra next week at 6:30 every weeknight. Have a good night.